Welcome to the Skincare Academy's Acne and Aging to Glow podcast. I am your host, Hayley Barnes, clinical acne naturopath, nutritionist, herbal medicine practitioner, and educator. I went from having acne myself for over 10 years to studying naturopathic medicine and not only treating the cause of my acne, but hundreds of women's acne in clinical practice, to now teaching skin therapists internationally how to treat the cause of their clients' acne in their skin clinics. On this podcast, you can expect to learn naturopathic acne treatments, internal skin support, science-based skin research, holistic skin fundamentals, and most importantly, how to become the leading acne skin health professional. I will also introduce you to the most influential industry professionals that I know along the way. Also, are you in my Facebook group? This is where I post tips, answer questions, and share my professional knowledge. This unique Facebook group is like no other, as each member is committed to treating the cause of acne internally in their skin clinic and becoming the best skin health professional they can be for their clients. These therapists are legit going to change how the skin beauty industry treats acne, and I'm so excited for you to join us. To find it, search Acne and Aging to Glow on Facebook or click on the direct link in the show notes below. Once again, welcome back to part 2 of our amazing podcast episode with Simone from Dermaviduals. This is such a great episode. Obviously, our first time we chatted, we had to split it up over 2. It was amazing the first time we chatted together. So I'm super excited for you to listen to part 2 of our podcast interview with the amazing Simone Vescio from Dermaviduals. We are talking all about treating the cause of acne internally and the power of individualizing acne skincare treatments, internal, external, and all about Simone's experience in the industry. Enjoy this episode. Your experience, like when you were working in your own clinics and things like that, did you have a naturopath that you referred to, or what was your first experience learning about what a naturopath does? Because I've just gone to the Beauty Expo and I had a blast. I knew everyone. I was the only acne naturopath there, and I don't think that's the first time that's ever happened in a beauty expo. And so I love it. I love what I do, and I love being, kind of one of the first specific acne naturopaths in this field. I'd love to know, what has been your experience working with naturopaths in the past, or, what was your experience talking to them? Because one thing that came up to me was we need to build that referral base, and we need to build that interpersonal professional relationship. But we also need to know what qualifications they have. Have they gone to university? Where did they study? Have they done just a weekend course and are they calling themselves a naturopath? Or have they gone and done 8 years study at university like me and niche in acne and gut health? So I'd love to know, back before, when you had your salons and clinics, what was your experience? Because everyone has different experiences. Some naturopaths, people are just saying, oh, they're pushing products, and they're, some naturopaths are really intuitive, working with the energetics and more herbal medicine. Some really science focused. There's so many different naturopaths and different qualifications that we all hold. So I'd love to hear what's been your experience working with naturopaths.
Yeah, sure. I'll go back to when we first started chatting this morning, and that is finding your person. And you just said, have they done this? Have they done that? What's their credentials? And you're not going to know that by looking at their website. So go meet the person, have a chat, get to know that. Ask those questions. It's not rude. Respectfully,
No.
where did you study?
Yes.
What do you specialize in anything special with skin? And then start to ask a few triggering questions, which might be on your plane about skin, and say, when I see inflammatory acne, these are the products I use. What do you do internally to help and start to get to make sure you're both on the same page. That's number one. That's first and foremost. Now, I'll go over my experience, and everyone that knows me, I do not tell lies. I say it as it is. I'm straight down the track. I stuffed up. I didn't know. I came out of college at 37. I wasn't educated. And I was just trying to find my way. First thing I did is I had my clinic doing everything, waxing, manis, pedis, spray tan booth, and all of that. When I finally found myself dedicating myself to skin, everything else got taken off my menus. It was a skin focused clinic then. And still at that stage, I hadn't linked that I had to have other specialists around me to get the results I really needed to achieve. And then fast forward a little bit to myself getting a severe autoimmune disease and having to go on chemotherapy and a whole lot of things, of where I was then given to a naturopath. Given, that sounds like being given away, but you know what, introduced, I should say.
Preferred.
And perfect. And how that human helped me with the conventional drugs I had to be on to mitigate a lot of the fallout and side effects that were coming from those, and to help. And then I went, oh my God, what am I doing? Let's take this further. Let's think about my clients now that my journey is underway. And that started me on my working in tandem with internal nutrition with the external. So it took it didn't just come instantly. I know better now, of course I work in tandem, but back when I was a junior therapist at the age of 38, 39, I just had no idea. It took for me to have to see a naturopath when I was on death's doorstep, and I literally was not doing well, was in for liver failure and a lot of different things, that I found the importance of what you do. And then I was sold. It was like, you cannot do one without the other. Whether it's, it's just amazing. So that's how it happened for me. And now not all naturopathists are the same. Not all the skin therapists are the same. So, I just, again, interview the people I'm going to refer on to. That's just so important.
Oh, amazing. And thank you for sharing so organically about your experience there. And unfortunately, you look at fertility challenges, you look at acne. If there's hormones involved, then unfortunately, there can be fertility issues involved as well. So what I do, I take my job very seriously, that acne is a sign of a internal health challenge. It's not just an external skin condition. So we do unfortunately get clients who have walked an IVF journey or something like that, and they need to come back to a naturopath, and they end up falling pregnant and things like that. So I suppose paraphrasing from what Simone said is really, trust the process and ask those questions and interview the naturopath, because you don't want to, end up needing a naturopath and then you understand the power of naturopathic medicine. And another thing that ended up coming up for me when you said that is you had to go on quite serious medications for that autoimmune disease, and a naturopath would be able to support you manage those side effects. So naturopathic medicine is complementary or alternative. If you ask the right questions and your naturopath has gone to university and knows pharmacodynamics, knows the pharmacokinetics, has studied pharmacology and pharmacognosy, which is herbal medicine pharmacology, they will have the education to be able to manage those side effects and customize their treatment plans if your acne client may also be on autoimmune medication or other complex medication. So if people are listening from what Simone said, just really make sure that you have that education. You have that chat with that naturopath.
Yes, a million percent agree. And you just touched on acne linking to hormonal issues, and we're talking about fertility here. You think of the endometriosis, the polycystic ovarian syndrome, leading then potentially to, of course, acne is one of your telltale signs there. And then, later down the track, oh my goodness, I'm having problems falling pregnant. Everything is connected, and oh my God, until we keep studying and learn these connections, and again, I'm just going to share organically, and my daughter's probably going to kill me if she listens to this, it's one of the major reasons I got so interested in going into skin, because around the time that I started studying, she was going through severe acne, and it was grade 3 cystic nodular papular pustules, blue, sore. One big cyst had to be removed from her forehead, like surgically, because it was the size of a small size egg. And I'm sitting there as a mum not knowing what to do. And I went from clinic to clinic to clinic, and I bought thousands of dollars worth of products. And in any of those, I can think back, not once did anyone sit with Brittany and myself for an hour and talk to me about her lifestyle and what was going on. It was just, let me give you a facial, here's your regime of products. So we product jumped. We even ended up on Proactive off TVSN or whatever it was, and burnt her skin off, because I didn't know any better. And no one person, once I started to look into this and started to read, I looked at the child's acne, I looked at the hirsutism. No one picked up on the excessive hair Brittany had on her side of her face, down the back of her neck, and in male pattern growth patterns. No one asked that once to bring, show her breast
Who
or
tested
anything
testosterone?
no one. And then as she got older, the endo started, and the debilitating pain, couldn't go to work, having surgery after surgery. And then moving into her 30s, we're talking about the next stage of, now let's have babies. Now, I'm going back to a 14-year-old with severe grade 3 cystic acne, and you can write a book of what's going to happen into right through to fertility when you start to look at something like that. There is a pattern. Now, not one beauty therapist did that for me, and now I can give back that gift through our education to help others understand that generally there is a pathway. Not always. It doesn't mean you're going to be infertile because you have acne. Please don't take that out of this conversation. But there is a pathway. If you start to see signs of the hirsutism or the excessive hair growth in male pattern areas, maybe it could be body size as well. Then you've got painful periods, and you've got this face full of acne or back or chest. You start to think about what's happening in these hormones, and then get yourself to a naturopath that's going to do blood testing, not just look in your skin and go, I think you need this. Get tests, get data, and then you've got your baselines to start working with, and then you can be retested and see what's happening. It's just, everything's so connected. And my God, if I knew what I knew back when Brittany was 14, but I think my kids have given me that passion to learn and study more. And now acne is my jam. Like, if you see some of the cases I'm working with at the moment, it's mind-blowing, just mind-blowing. And they're all being referred to me by the doctors in Albury. That's where they come from.
Amazing.
Before they put them on Roaccutane, they say, I want you to go and see Simone. Give it a year there, and then we can talk if we can't get any further. And then, of course, I've got my naturopathist that we work with, and, the rest is history.
Oh, amazing. So
sorry, again, and I'm sorry to my daughter sharing too much. That's who I am. But it's real life. It's how I learned, and I feel very ripped off, and I'm very sad that we did years of clinic hopping to try and find an answer. But I never ever was given the right, we were never given the right consultation or information that may have been life-changing for us earlier. But then I would never become a therapist. So hey, things are good for the right reasons.
And that's what I teach in Advanced Acne to Glow. My course is not only the step-by-step treatments, but the red flags, the clinical, that's what we get taught at university, the clinical case taking, the whites on your nails, zinc, the eyes, where the acne is, acne face mapping, how are they having a bowel motion a day? Where are they sleeping? What makes them stressed? What are all these, case taking questions? You cannot treat acne with skincare, facials, and treatments alone. It is as simple as that. You need to treat the cause of acne holistically to internally treat acne long term. You see, a lot of therapists I have spoken to have even thought about going back to uni to study nutrition or naturopathy, but the thought of paying over $70,000 in tuition fees and studying full time for 4 years is just too much for them to manage with their current workloads. I have been helping skin therapists and professionals just like yourself learn how to treat the cause of acne with nutrition, lifestyle modifications, herbal medicine, with great success. I have over 13 years' experience in the field of naturopathic medicine, and this is why I have created my signature step by step curriculum teaching therapists how to understand naturopathic clinical case taking skills, and how to treat the internal cause of acne. I love seeing therapists step into their role of a confident, holistic, internal, external acne specialist. My therapists, who are Advanced Acne to Glow partner clinics, naturally show up online more confidently because they are able to talk the talk and also walk the walk. This is absolutely key in this industry for your business to be successful and for you to move forward in this field of treating acne holistically. You will learn how to heal your client's gut, balance their hormones, support liver detoxification processes, nourish their nervous system, provide lymphatic support, all using food as medicine and key naturopathic treatment modalities. The level of holistic treatment you will be able to provide to your clients will naturally attract higher quality and more aligned clientele to you, as you will be positioned as the holistic acne expert. This means more income, more long-term results for your clients, more loyal clients, and more confidence in your ability to treat the cause of acne internally and externally. This is what I teach inside Advanced Acne to Glow, my step-by-step course teaching skin professionals how to treat the cause of acne internally in their skin clinics. No need to refer to a nutritionist, doctor, dermatologist anymore, leaving money and long-term results on the table. You can and you will achieve these results for your clients naturally yourself. Click the link in my show notes or in my Instagram bio to join Advanced Acne to Glow. If you would like to become the confident, holistic acne expert and help hundreds of clients achieve their dream skin and health goals. What in the Dermaviduals education framework, like in your training, what type of initial appointment do you give to your therapist to take? Because that comes up a lot with me, and obviously I have my own process, but like, you know, very holistically minded and education focused. So asking about lifestyle, asking about nutrition, you know.
So I sort of think, let's face it, we're skin coaches, and every coach gives a plan, whether it be a fitness coach or, you know, whatever it might be. And then it's up to the client to take on that education and actually go and do the work. So I always say, we don't take all the responsibility on our shoulders. The client's skin is where they've got the problem, they bring it to us. We do the coaching, we supply the ingredients and the homework. Now they have to do the work to get the results. So that's how I set up my consultations. Acne is never under an hour and a half. It takes me that long to unpack everything, find the red flags, add them all up, and then have the clients understanding and, more importantly, their buy-in. Because if they aren't going head, heart, gut with me, it's never going to work. So what I try to turn over in this hour and a half is genetics. Does it run in the family? You know, we're just specifically looking at acne here. I look at changes in the endocrine system. I look at poor quality skincare, makeup and hair care, because chemistry leaves a footprint, and a sign of abuse of skin can be coming from chemistry that has been leading to disrupting the first 3 lines of skin barrier defense. So I look at the chemical footprint. They bring in all of their stuff, and I ask them to bring it all. I don't care how much there is, we're going to go through it. And generally they leave it in the bin with me, because if I'm going to get the result, I need to take control of what is going on their skin, and they can't have stuff at home that they're slipping into their regime. They have to stick with me. And if they can't, I don't keep them in my books. I know that sounds tough, but their results is my business. So if you want the results, you've turned up here using those products, they're not working. Can we agree on that? And they'll go, yeah, okay, that's why you're here. So we need to make changes to make a change happen. So that's one thing. We go through skin prescriptions, the high lipids, are they using high lipids? Are they stripping agents, what they're doing? I'll look at essential fatty acid deficiency or poor nutrition. Now, I'm not stepping on your pathway there, but I'm just touching the surface of it because I also have to get my red flags to find out leading cause. And with, you can see Simca behind me here, and it's just been my passion and my baby to launch my own branding in conjunction with Reka, my business partner. And we've started off with the internals because Dermaviduals have the externals covered. And we know so many leading skin deficiency or disorders and barrier disorders come from essential fatty acid deficiency. Now, you could talk on this for days, and you and I could do another chat on it. And this generally is always a red flag. And when I get acne walk through the door, there will be a skin barrier impairment. There will be lack of EFAs. There'll be thick, slow, sluggish sebum because of a conversion from testosterone to dihydrotestosterone. So I'll be working with high dose, the right omegas, because not all omegas like skincare or naturopathists are created equal, to help break down and fluidize that sebum flow so we don't have as much follicular plugging, and we bring down the inflammation with omega-3 because we get so much omega-6 from our diets, which is a bit of omega-6 is required, but we need all this omega-3. I'll ask about gut health, and this is where I will start to introduce you, and I will start to talk about how then in this part of the consultation we need to work in tandem because one can't go without the other. I can only do what's on the outside, but what's feeding on the inside, I need to see you with a specialist. I'll touch on that.
I want to know why have they got deficient EFAs? Yeah. Like that is complementary to your external process, and it needs to happen, but it's not treating the cause, but it is necessary. You need to have the external and the internal and the external, so it's complementary. So having that Simca there and being able to provide that support internally for clients is fantastic, but it's not going to control, at the end of the day, why they're deficient in EFAs. What's the cause there? What's happening there? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if they're deficient in it, they're going to need to find out the cause and then to be replenished with those EFAs.
Yeah, and we're the same in skin. When you find the cause, if you can, because sometimes you can't come off the pill or you can't come off a certain medication that's causing erythema, whatever it might be, because it's life-threatening and you've got to be on it, like blood pressure medication or whatever. But if you can, remove the offending cause, because there's no sense doing what's causing it and then trying to band-aid it. So we're exactly the same. Find the cause. The causes sometimes is face masks, because let's face it, through COVID, the amount of perioral dermatitis and acne that was blowing up because of the change in the microbiome from all the moisture and from, the breathing underneath the masks and how the skin was presenting. We look at stress, whether it be perceived or real, because of cortisol and histamine interactions, which again then works back in with you. Because if someone's running on high histamine and cortisol, that's a whole nother box you have to unpack for us. Pure neglect. Sometimes clients come in with severe acne from just pure neglect. Drugs, we go over that. I open up and get very personal, prescribed or recreational.
Vaping?
Sorry? Vaping? Oh my God. Yeah. Vaping. Seriously, if you don't get real in this consultation and let me in, I am not going to get to the root causes. And you may want to stay on your vapes or your recreational drugs, but don't expect to get the results that we want to achieve together. So, sometimes we just get the clients to cut back on cigarettes, but, we still know, oh, look, that's a whole nother thing. But
damage and things like that. But yeah. I think I love your approach, and I think we really need to sit in our power as therapists. And like Simone said, acne is quite complex to treat the cause of it long term. Every 28 days a skin cycle, but we're talking long term. and we're talking about going back to when acne started and why it started. I think you, like someone said, you really need to have that do or die, ride or die relationship with your acne clients. It is a full-on thing. And, you know, if you can really have that conversation with them and ask those questions. It's not silly to ask how many bowel motions they're having, and, you know, what type of relationships do they have in their life? Do they have a safe place? You know, do they have close friendships? Can they talk to people? What type job are you doing? Are you a shift worker? Are you working in bars at night? Like, these are questions that we need to have with our clients.
Yeah, and look, I always get with the young kids that come in, 15 to 19, they're at McDonald's, they're at KFC, they're working over hot fryers. They've got a lot of residual oil that's coming from the workplace environment. I've got a guy that I'm working with at the moment who works in abattoirs, and his place is taking off the fat from the carcasses. Mm-hmm. Now, he touches his face all the time, and that's just causing a complete occlusion. So workplace lifestyle, you've got to get to know this human so well, as much as they kind of know themselves. And sometimes you overturn stuff that they're not even thinking about. And that's why an hour and a half sometimes is not even enough to start off that relationship.
Definitely. Back at the start, or to the middle side of a conversation, you talked about, you were doing waxing, you're doing nails, mani-pedi, and you're doing skin. And some people, you mentioned, their boss might be like, we need to focus more on skin, What is the actual process for someone who has their finger in all the pies, but deep down they do know that they want to niche in skin, but they're unsure because they've got these other revenue streams in their clinic, but what would you say to those salon owners, yourself being a salon owner and starting your own, like, they want to go all in with skin, but they're just wanting to mentally know the process. Do I just cut my treatments off? Do I just let my clients know? Do I,
Yeah. So we're not talking about a therapist that's looking to work just in skin. We're talking about a salon owner.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I probably can only share my pathway, and it's scary. Anything that we do that creates change as a human race, it's scary. So, and I think in business, if it doesn't scare you, you're not being driven. So I love a little bit of a driver. For me, it was to take the things off my menu first that I didn't like doing. Massage was my first one. The first thing I did is I went we're going to go back 15 years ago. Okay, so prices are different. My massages were $90 back then, and I moved them to $160 for an hour. That's a lot of money back then for a massage. Yep. Now, that did one thing. If I had to do it, I was going to make damn good money out of it. And generally everyone then dropped off and went to the cheaper places. So then I started to then move that off my menu. I said that I was no longer spray tanning, because when I sat and looked at the dollar value back then, spray tans were $25. And the time it took and drying time and whatnot, not worth it. And I need the space in my room. Then I started to look at manis and pedis, and he said, is there money in this? The only time there was money inside the mani and pedis was if I talked to them about their skin while I was doing that, and they came out with a skin prescription as well. Plus, it didn't fill my cup. For me, it just wasn't speaking to me, sitting and filing someone's toenails. And a lot of other pop-up places were doing that as a profession, and they were doing it so much cheaper and quicker. So, for me, it was literally either raising the prices so high or just dropping it. And then I even changed the tagline of my clinic from Mind, Body and Beauty to Skin Correction Specialist. And when I made that change to my tagline and changed my branding, I then felt I owned what I wanted to do. And then when I found Dermaviduals, this is just a no-brainer, and now have the chemistry. I'm continuing to gain the knowledge even to this day. Like I said, I'm over to Spain next week to sit for 5 days in the most intense symposium. And then I just let it go. And this is just going to sound awful, because it's not just about money, because if I was just driven by money, there's no way I'd be sitting talking to you on my holiday today. I'm definitely not driven by that. But when I was in clinic, the minute I made that shift, the money is in skin, because what is happening is facials. You get your dollar for dollar return there, and maybe a little bit more. But when you sit and work with a client with a damn good skincare range, and your education and your voice is selling a prescription of anywhere from 3 to 5 products for them to go on their home care journey, and you're making 100% markup on that, that's where your money is. And I saw my figures change dramatically for the better when I got rid of all the little services and focused on 1.5 hour consultations, damn good facials. And I brought LED into my clinic. I'm the distributor of Max Plus LED. I was handed that distributorship 11 years ago. And before people were thinking LED was great, I was out there saying, you need to wave colored light over the face. There is a reason. And I just made the jump. And I just, that's all I can say is you take the leap of faith. If it feels scary, you're going to grow. You may want to do it slowly by raising your prices to cut those particular services off, and make sure you've got the study behind you to back what you're about to do, because that's really important. And find the right skincare partner. Your distributor needs to be an extension to your business. They don't just give you skincare and a bit of education. They need to be invested in your business, from the owner right through the business development manager to the education to the warehouse people to everybody. And they need to feel an extension of your business, feel to be. And all those 3 things, head, heart, and gut, need to align. And if they're not, you've got to say, am I with the right product, the right distributor? Am I getting what I deserve? Because again, I'd worked with 5 product lines, and I looked at all the things I didn't get from my distributors and said, I want to fill that gap. I want to make sure I get what a salon owner deserves and requires, because we're turning over beds quickly. The clients are in and out. We're trying to, break even. We're trying to do our Instagram. We've got to do so many things. Allow your supplier to do that other stuff, to be the arm of your business, to make you exceptional.
Yes, that's fantastic. And Simone, when you're ahead of the game, you went over to Germany, you're coming back, you're talking to other clinics, obviously organically that happened through the amazing results that you were getting. But like way back then, well, not way back, but
it was nearly 50 years.
What were people, salon owners, therapists saying about derma back then? No one really, knew.
No one knew it.
How does it actually work? And am I going to be mixing up things in my clinic? Like, how does this actually work? Is that what were people saying?
Good trip down memory lane. Oh my God, it was hard. I tell you, it was really hard. I was literally just knocking on doors, trying to get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee appointment. And when we just talked about a client's consultation, can you imagine what I had to try and get over to a salon owner to get them to say, we're no longer going to peel and abrade. We are going to go in and nurture and work with the skin, not against it. But hey, I've got this delivery system, and I've got over 40 actives that are encapsulated in phosphatidylcholine, which was part of our skin's ecosystem. And that will allow the delivery of these specific actives to bypass the skin's barrier defenses, which normally you have to abrade off or needle to get your products in. And I'm going to give you a medical delivery. Just one moment. This is what's going to happen. We're going to keep so long. And give you like a medical delivery of these ingredients. That is going to be a game changer. And they'll go, oh, well, where's your photos? Where's this? And, I'm just starting out. All of that hadn't been put together. So it took me with a few clinics who took a leap of faith that then I invested so heavily in, with their education and getting that together. And then, slowly word of mouth came around. But, still 6-7 years into it, people are saying, who's Dermaviduals? What's corneotherapy? We're now 15 years and people know us. They know our results. I'm working heavily in the medical field, and it just goes beyond beauty. And now people, thank God, know what corneotherapy is and the principles of it. And but it was a lot of door knocking, a lot of explaining, a lot of, not begging, please trust me, but I think it was really good because I was still running my clinics, and I'd be showing them my photos of this client is on X product, and that clinic may be of using that, and I say, this is where I got with those ingredients. Look where I brought that skin to now. and a great before and after is, speaks 1,000 words. And then I just went on Pure Science and INCIs, or the INCI list, to try and teach the person I was trying to get to take it on in their clinic about ingredients. And science doesn't lie, but product claims and marketing hype can be total bullshit. Sorry, the BS word.
No, go for it.
And I'll always say, you can have a rep come in and talk to you about something and you really believe it, but then you turn around the bottle and you look at the ingredients and you go, well, how could this not be stripping the skin or causing occlusion because of X, Y, and Z ingredients? So just look at chemistry. Forget the marketing labels, forget the pretty ads, look at the chemistry, work out if that will work with the cells and systems that are failing within the skin. And if all things are aligning, you've got the right product for you.
Look at the ingredients, look at the delivery.
Oh my God, yeah. People look, I've got this amazing pigmentation thing that works so well. So I'll pick it up, I'll look at the INCI, and we've got 3 severe heavy peeling ingredients in it to get their malic and tartaric and their tyrosinase inhibitors in, but they're peeling away the first 3 lines of skin barrier defense to get it in. Dermaviduals has that sneaky delivery system that keeps everything intact and brings in whatever we require to work within the epidermis and dermis. So I kind of go, well, that's great that you've got the super duper tyrosinase inhibitors in there, but check out how it's going in. And then let's look at the preservatives that are sitting in there, causing disruption to the skin barrier and the skin function. So yes, it's got some great ingredients, but there's other things that it's wrapped up in that may be not so healthy for skin.
And the way
ingredients, learn chemistry. You just have to learn chemistry.
And the way I see it is, skin barrier external, intestinal barrier internal. We want to have that barrier intact. That villi needs to do its thing and absorb the food and really pass those nutrients on and have that thriving microbiome with all the villi communicating to each other and having that beautiful environment, as well as you want to have on your face. I mean, our bodies are so smart and intelligent, and we were made in this way to have an innate ability to heal. So we want to support that and let the body do its thing as much as we can,
And like with you, if you've got leaky gut, hello, we as therapists are going to see inflammation. So you need to be getting in there, working that out. And if you don't have the uptake of nutrients, our skin's going to be, that we're looking at, is dull and devitalized. So again, it's that synergy that if, you just got to have both of us working.
And that's going to throw a spanner in the works, but that's aging. You look at aging, and that's my next whole thing. And I'm 2 years off of that because I'm loving my acne, but I've got advanced aging to glow in me as well. You look at all of these anti-aging external creams. When we look at antioxidants, when we look at inflammation, when we look at gastrointestinal health and innate ability to heal, it's around the wrong way. We need to do internal first and have that support, and then backing up synergistically with that external. That's another day.
Yeah, glycation and high sugar. Hello, until that's changed and you stop your sugar spikes and get your insulin under control, you're going to be aging faster than the person that has got all that stuff under control. So, oh my God, we could have a whole nother chat on that.
And we could chat for days on this, but until someone listens and goes, oh, my wine at 3 o'clock and my sneaky little chocky or whatever is actually contributing to premature aging, you really have to take ownership and responsibility. Same with acne clients. And we were talking about that, collaboration and, that home care is everything. People really have to wake up to themselves and really be in it. And we, give them what they need to do and tell them what they need to do, but they need to do it at the end of the day.
Yeah. And when you're talking about, the glass of wine or, you 3 cubes of chocolate.
Jesus, blocks of chocolate.
I kind of myself don't beat myself up when I have it, but you understand cause and effect. It's going to do X, Y, Z to your body, and you eat it anyway and go, okay, I'm comfortable with that. I've just really enjoyed that. But it's not an everyday thing, because I've been now educated, where we do that for our clients. We'll educate them on what the long-term effects of that are. And then you make a conscious decision of the night if it's 1 block, no block, or all the block of chocolate.
And that's where education is everything. Education, if you don't know, you don't know, you know,
No.
like you have to know. And you know, I'll just quickly say, like, a lot of people come to me, oh, I'm eating organic, you know, what brand of this should I buy at the supermarket? And people go to 5 different health food shops, they're getting food delivered, they're trying to do this or that. It's stressful, you know, like, and I just say, go to somewhere local, choose the best you can ingredients or foods with what you have, and don't make this as stressful as what it needs to be, because that oxidation and that stress of not eating organic or what's sprayed on my food is actually worse than eating it long term, because you're doing it all the time and you're stressing all the time about it, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's also connected, isn't it? And look, life's just difficult enough to navigate as it is, rather than making it, you know, and that's the other thing we're here for, together to work and make a simple plan for the client to follow, give them the information that they require, not too much more, unless you have that type A client that just keeps asking for more. And then, man, I'll sit with you for 2-3 hours. I'm there for you as much as you want. And make it easy for them, because if we don't, they're not going to follow it. They're going to bail and then go, oh, this is all too hard. But, you know, getting their understanding, getting their buy-in. And yes, we might have so much information tucked away in our brain, but it doesn't mean we share it all. We just know then how to work through the pathways to get them to the result that, you know, they're wanting.
Yeah. And with your Simca omega-3, like, did you study, you know, nutrition, or what was how did that all come? Like, innately, you've known internal, external. You've had that you've had that relationship with that naturopath. You know, obviously, I see Dermaviduals as naturopathically framed because of the individuality, and that skin barrier is kept in place, and that's what we do internally as naturopaths with the microbiome and intestinal health. So Simca, like your baby, Dermaviduals is European standard, it's German. How did you source this in regards to making sure that it's your baby? I know you wouldn't put your face all over it and, you know, love it, and if it's not heavily tested, you know, heavy metals, oxidation, the whole thing. What was that journey of, you know, going internal and finally having something to, you know, having something to
call mine. Look, at the end of the day, it's about that quality assurance. So as you know, you're getting to know me a little better. You know, I wouldn't do it unless all the checks and balances were right. No, to answer your first question, I have not done naturopathy. I've had my own journey with a great naturopathist, and then in our industry, I've worked with a lot. So I listen a lot and I pick up little bits, but I am no way qualified to do anything that you do. But I do know and recognize, without omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, with a small amount of EPA, you are going to be able to get the membrane of a keratinocyte much more healthy than person that's lacking in it. You'll bring down inflammation. You'll have a more viscous sebum. Look at so many other things: dry eye, great bowel movements. I've just got people texting me constantly going, my God, this has changed me. I'm just getting all these testimonials come in. So I knew that omega-3s were needed, and I know Dermaviduals didn't have the internal. So that was the starting place. Now, every batch of Simca Alpha Omegas is tested to ensure like the specific standards of operating procedures are met for the omega-3 industry. They're reputable. It's certified by a third party. And what happens is there's strict quality control and assurances for us to bring that highest, purest alga DHA that is actually available on the market at the moment. And the Simca Alpha omega-3s is their microalgae oil. It's produced in GMP, so good manufacturing practice compliant factory, FDA registered, so that will tell you it's coming from America, and it's audited manufacturing facilities. Now, the oil passes a 3-year stability testing, consistency and stability evaluation tests. That's a lot of words. And it's clean with 0 contaminant score. every time. We've got all the data that comes in, and I had to go through all of that and make sure that all of those ticked the boxes. And I've got many reference documentation that if anyone's looking to bring Simca into their clinics and they think, oh, look, I don't know you, Simone, my head and heart's aligning, but, you know, maybe my gut's not feeling right, so I'd like to see your documentation. That can be sorted out. And then we had to look at stability. So using tocopherol or vitamin E as an antioxidant, preserving that oil in the DHA. The vitamin E is a common preserving method. Now, over time, the polyunsaturated fatty acids like DHA, it can undergo oxidation when exposed to oxygen, heat, or light. This oxidation process can lead to an oil being rancid, have a funny odor, flavor, basically just degradation of the oil. So we use tocopherol, vitamin E, to work as scavenging and neutralizing free radicals. The other thing that we have is in a Myron glass bottle. So that's protecting the oil. It's a special bottle from UV exposure.
Which is
and that is just so important. Then when we look at how the capsules are packed, they're in a soft gel protective coating that's made from cornstarch, vegetable glycerin, purified water, and that is then also in a impervious container that you can't get light through and into. So rest assured, like, we're working with the highest quality and most efficacious form of DHA that's actually on the planet. It is incredible what it goes through. We're not pilfering from the sea. It's microalgae is growing in controlled environments.
That was my next question. How many farms, like how many microalgae farms, and how are they doing it? Is it different locations, or their lab is connected to that in one type of place, or there's multiple locations and that's sent into the lab? Or
yeah, well, I haven't been over to the factory.
That'd be amazing for you to go over.
It absolutely would be. What I've learned is it's actually grown from a microorganism. So when I first thought about this, I thought algae plants hanging up there and, you know, they're big seaweed things and they're extracting things out of it. It's so not the way. It comes from a single microorganism, a bit like when you think of kombucha and having that SCOBY.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, this is how because again, I'm learning so much with, I call him Dr. DHA, but that's not his name. He's a doctor in lipology, so fats, he's a doctor in fats, and he's just so cool to talk to.
Amazing.
So yeah, and then it goes through the processing of these essential fatty acids from the microalgae. It goes through a water extraction process. So to break the capsule that holds this golden oil in, quite often companies will use solvents, alcohols, to break that capsule down to extract the long chain fatty acids out. They go through a water extraction process. So there's no chemicals used in the making of Simca or nothing, pure nothing, no trace can be found due to the high pressure water extraction process. It's just insane. Like I said, I went after the cleanest, the purest, somebody who had, you know, lots of information to give. I certainly didn't make this. We don't have the factory here to do it. We don't have the know-how here to do it. It is offshore. The other Simca products that are going to be coming to market are purely Australian made. There's some exciting stuff coming next year. Yeah, but look, the game changer of this, and I was on Simca for about 7 months before it came out at Beauty Expo a few weeks back. And the changes to my skin, to bowel movements, dry eye syndrome, I suffer from that, menopause, dry vagina, just everything dries up. The changes to so many facets of my life since I've been on this has been incredible. And like I said, the stories that are coming in aren't just skin related. There's other things that EFAs do. You would know that. You could just talk about that all day. You know, joints, cardiovascular, everything. It's just amazing. Brain fog, oh God.
I was really interested in, where it's sourced and how it's made, and that, you know, process, the solvent process, the oxidation process, that the heavy metals, and that's fantastic. And I think it's really unique to go on that path and really be in the driver's seat and make a product. You know, you really have to not only invest financially, but really invest education. There's going to be ups and downs, and you know, all different process in regards to manufacturing a product. And having that on the market.
Skincare and manufacturing is the scariest thing I've done. It's the most cost and labor intensive thing I've done in my whole years of living life. I'm 55 now, and it's the hardest thing I've done, the most tears I've shed, but seriously, the most joy. Giving birth to Simca a few weeks back at Beauty Expo and seeing the results and the feedback already from clinicians and people that I'm working with Omegas has been the most joy. So again, we were talking earlier, if it doesn't scare you, if it's not difficult, you're not going to grow. And I tell you, I am just, you know, I was thinking I was going to retire around 55, 60.
Okay.
Well, I'm there, and I'm just
and you just burst
because I've got a whole elusive life. Yeah, but formulating's hard. You know, what's coming out is going to be a game changer for our industry next year. I'm using it here while I'm on holiday. It's amazing. But I tell you, it is a hard. Hats off to anybody who is a formulator / distributor, because it's a new challenge, but it's a good one.
And I mean, like what you've said, Simone, like once you really invest in the internal and you start, you know, using it specifically for your health challenges and your, you know, what stage in life you are, a menopause or perimenopause or on a fertility journey, and you really niche that down to where you're at and where you want to go. What's your goal? Why do you want to clear acne? What's your goal? You know, then fantastic things happen. And skin is it's our biggest organ. And it has so many stories to tell us at different stages of our life. And that's why I love skin. And I find acne specifically, those clients have such a massive story to tell and massive lessons to learn going through that acne journey. And like Simone was saying, with your daughter, and I hear this day in, day out. So it's beautiful to have this conversation today. Simone coming from internal, me coming from Simone coming from external, me coming from internal, and meeting the middle and going back and forth. And like Simone was saying, like find your tribe, find your people that you can talk to an hour and a half for and not really blink and butt into each other and want to say more. And yeah, go from there. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Simone, before we wrap up today? Or anything that you'd like to say to the people listening? Or
yeah, I think we'll go back to right where we started. You know, education is key. Find your distributor that is an extension of your business, not a problem. Make sure the ingredients are aligning with skin health, because marketing hype is out there and ingredients don't lie. So understand your basic chemistry, understand skin anatomy and physiology so well that you can think it, live it, breathe it, and see it 3D. So you can then have the beauty with, like working with Dermaviduals, to pick what active you require for the cellular system that's failing, or the ones you want to continue supporting. And remember, that's seasonal. No one's skin, even though they're different to everyone else's skin, needs the same food every month or every quarter, every seasonal change. You need to change that. Or if you're traveling, like I've got a very different prescription over here in Europe at the moment, where I'm sitting, to what I'd be using over in the winter if I was still sitting over in Australia. So find your tribe, connect with your other practitioners to support your work. Don't be scared of being scared, because going outside your boundaries and making a change, one other thing I get a lot. So if I change over to Dermaviduals, you know, what do I tell my clients? How do I change a skincare product when I've used XYZ for, you know, the last 10 years in my clinic? And the way I did it with my clients, my testimonial is, I said, I knew what I knew then, but I have done further education and have come across something that will take your skin to the next level. And I so believe in, from the education I've done, I've never done anything wrong by your skin, and I've always offered you the best that I knew I could offer you back then, but now I'm going to take it to another level. So I never said anything bad about what I was previously using, just saying and sitting humbly, I've learned more, and now I want to offer that to you. And that's how I flipped all my clients from other product lines over to the one that we're using. So that's a nice thing to finish up on, to how do you do it when you change?
Yeah, and an ever-evolving industry. I think everybody can understand that technology is changing every day. Science is changing. You know, we're rapidly evolving as a human race. So explaining that to your clients and saying, you know, we are ever evolving and ever changing and upskilling, and this is what we found to work the best for you. And, you know, talking about the trends and things like that, I see that in my industry. One week it's MTHFR, the next week it's pyrroles, then we're back on the microbiome again, and then we're on, you know, whatever. So don't get all the noise, because there is a lot of noise of the flavor of the month and the product of the month and the active of the month and the treatment of the month and things like that. Focus on your education first. Block everything out and look at it.
Yeah. Focus on the science and stay away from the hype, because hype doesn't last. Sustainable science that is not quite as noisy and busy lasts. It doesn't come and go. Good science is not a fad. And sustainable skin is not a quick fix. It needs to be, you know.
And the hype isn't going to treat the cause of acne. Hype isn't going, that might not even be relevant to your client, you know. Just because it's happening at the now doesn't mean that we need to use it in our treatments.
Find your tribe, find your humans that are going to support your business to be exceptional. And that's your distributor, your pairing naturopath, your general practitioner. Just get all the right people around you, and you can't lose then. You can't not succeed.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, well, once again, thank you so much, Simone. It's been beautiful chatting with you and just going for gold. We've just chatted and we've been wanting to do this for a while. So I'm super stoked that we've done this while you're on your holiday. And I definitely know everybody who's listening to this is going to get a lot of nuggets of wisdom out of it, and inspiration, and really not being scared of being scared and going for gold, because this industry is ours to make it our own. And, you know, valuing education and our individual clients is everything.
Yeah, and we're smart, powerful humans. Don't just bag us into, oh, you're a beauty therapist. It's like, seriously, you're a therapist. Oh my goodness, you know a lot. So, you know, find your tribe and come join us at Dermaviduals. You've got some free classes that you can jump on the learning management system and start there. And then if it's starting to align with you, you might dive a little bit deeper. But yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. See yourself as the primary care practitioner. That's what I like to see. See yourself as, like Simone said, grabbing other people. You're at the main root of the tree, and all the other branches are complementary and adding into what that individual client needs. Do you want to leave your handles, Simone? I can add them in our notes. You know, your Instagram, and you've got Dermaviduals, you've got Derma Aesthetics, you've got Simca.
There's handles coming everywhere now. So dermaviduals.com.au, you'll find our website, and then we've got Simca Skin on Insta. So I can send those over, and then you can pop notes. And honestly, I think it's pretty hard to 15 years ago you couldn't find us. Now I think if you look a little bit, you'll find us.
Google it, you'll find it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, and it's been a beautiful morning. Well, it's morning here, it's night over there for you.
Yes, 6:30. But I hope you have a beautiful day and you enjoy the dolce far niente, the sweet art of doing nothing, and enjoy your Italian holiday and your rest. And the synopsis sounds amazing. I'm following you, so I'll see all that amazing footage coming through.
Yeah, and we're just so blessed. We have Kai there presenting as well. He's doing an amazing lecture. It is full on, so in front of all the doctors and dermatologists. He's in them, and that just shows the standard that we have in our education field here at Dermaviduals, to be able to be at an international symposium and we're presenting. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, congratulations. It's years and years of
Yeah.
work and blood, sweat, and tears and a passion. Like you said, you wouldn't be here, on your holiday. You've got to be passionate about it, and skin is where it's at. There's endless
Yes.
opportunities and endless levels of growth, and it's fantastic.
Thank you for having me. Oh my God, it's just been beautiful connecting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has.
absolutely.
We'll have to touch base when you get back, and hopefully one of the other expos I'll meet up with you again in person. We can have another hug again, and we'll definitely keep in
Will do.
contact.
I'm definitely a hugger, that's for sure.
Me
I'll
too.
see you around. Thanks for listening.
No
Ciao.
worries. Thanks, Simone. Take care. Thank you for listening, and I invite you to check out my Instagram. Let me know what resonated with you from this episode. And if you have any questions, you can find me at skincare_academy_. And I'm really looking forward to chatting with you, meeting you, and I hope you have the most amazing day. And I cannot wait to see you again.